Hello, everyone. Welcome to chapter 240 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekend edition, and I went shopping this last week, and it finally all arrived in the mail. So if you want to see what I was up to, all you need to do is stay tuned. Yes, I went shopping again. I was stimulating the global economy here. It's just my job when I'm retired. And yeah, I bought a couple of things. First of all, I needed something for my shop, and I'm going to show this to you yet. And then, in order to get my Amazon free shipping, I had to spend another $15. So then I was on the hunt for something, and I found something else. But before I show that to you, I had classes in here yesterday, and yeah, I only have 4 students now, but the stuff that they're making, in my opinion, is truly amazing. I'm always excited for what my students are making, not for me. Like I'm just the help. I guide, I direct, but they're doing the work. And wow, what incredible stuff we have going here. I just got to show you. So Justice glued his soundboard, and we haven't trimmed anything yet. I just took this out of the clamps. Glued his soundboard onto his sides. So the next thing we do is we put the back on, and then basically we have a sound chamber. This is awesome work. He carved all the bracing himself. We were constantly tap toning this thing to see if we could get the right sound and vibration. I'm not an expert at that, but I think we did a good job. Pardon me, I think he did a good job. This is awesome. Okay, so that's one thing. Jace is working on his bass guitar neck. Yeah, it's kind of a Fender style bass, like a P bass, but he's put a little bit of his own design stuff into it. And the neck, I'm just like, this is just a habit whenever somebody finishes a neck, and I'm sliding my hand back and forth on it. And for a neck that he finished with hand tools, this is really nice. So anyway, credit to him. The body's over on the other side of the shop. Hang on. I got to go out of frame here a little bit. So I have a student, Mike, that's been on holidays the last couple of Wednesdays, and he made this wonderful longboard. And he wants a traditional flame paint job on it. So I made some patterns for him that takes some of the design out of drawing the flame. I spent an afternoon playing with this, and I still really don't quite like it. I don't quite have it, but maybe on the fly we'll make a couple little changes, and that'll be good. So we'll set that there, and we'll set this here. And my last student, Lincoln, I don't have any of his stuff here anymore, but that was one where I really like it when this happens, and this happens with all my students, but he picked an area that I knew nothing about, drumming. So yeah, at school when I taught, I found some drumsticks at Princess Auto one day because they have everything, and thought, well, we should turn these. So yeah, I had a few students that turned drumsticks, and we basically got a stick that looked like a drumstick, but I knew nothing about it, like weight and all that stuff, not a clue. But Lincoln has done all the research, and he's a drummer, so he knows all this stuff. So once I realized there needed to be a weight for drumsticks, like he made a pair of drumsticks out of one pair out of maple, one pair out of hickory, and one pair out of oak. And those apparently are the 3 top woods for drumsticks. Again, I know nothing. I just know what I read on the internet in 5 minutes before class one day. So he turned a set of sticks on all those different categories. And then I have a postal scale, so he was weighing, and he knows whether they're 5As or 5Bs or whatever they are. He knows all that. The other thing he made that I'd never heard of before was a drum pad. So here's the template we made for we used shelf liner, basically toolbox liner. And he took 3 layers of it, cut it in this circle, glued it all together, and then glued that onto the pad that he had. We didn't really even turn that. Did we turn the edges maybe to round things off? I forget. But he made himself a drum pad. And I said, what in the world is that for? Well, he said, that's you can practice and you don't wear out your drums, which I'd never thought of, never heard of. So anyway, he did a really cool job. He made a birch base, and he outline dyed it. We sprayed it with clear coat, and then he put his pads on. And you could see him going around the shop with the one drumstick that we had here, and he's hitting it. And he says, "Yeah, that rebounds just like my drum set at home." So I'm really happy when they come up with ideas and do an amazing job. So hats off, guys. We're just about coming to the end of this term, so we're going to get things done. Anyway, back to regular scheduled programming. So anyway, yeah, I got on Amazon. What it started with is, okay, I may as well show you. This is a plug-in with a remote control, and it's supposed to operate the contactor that turns on my dust collector. Boy, I hope I'm getting this right. If my neighbor Wilmer, the electrician, knows what I'm talking about, if he watches this, and if I have to do a correction in the future, he'll tell me. But anyway, my switch that I have, and I've used since I got my dust collector up and running, has a bad habit. So when I'm using it, and yeah, the remote works perfectly. Like I have it hanging on my thickness sander, and I just go click it on and off. I have to come into the shop when I'm going to use a dust collector and click a toggle switch up. I have no idea what that does, but it needs to be on, and then the remote will work. So that's all wonderful. But over the course of using it over the last couple of years, I've realized I have a major problem with it, and that's when the power goes out. When the power goes out and then comes back on, my dust collector lights up if I leave that on switch on, that toggle. So I have to make sure every day when I leave the shop that that toggle's in the off position. And the way it seems to me is I need one of these that when it switches off or when the power goes out, it defaults to the off position. I'm thinking mine defaults to the on position, but something isn't quite right. And I'm not going to send this back right yet because it doesn't work. In fact, the remote doesn't even work. I don't think the battery is alive. And it's a weird battery that I don't stock. So I'll have to want to maybe pick up a battery and try it. But anyway, this, I'm gonna run it by my electrician friend and try it with him before I do anything. But it may end up going back. Thank goodness Amazon has pretty good return policy. But like I said earlier, I needed to spend another $15 to get my free shipping. And I did that. And what I did is I ordered some sharpening stuff. Like I ordered this set of 5 diamond hones or plates. And I have it written down here what kind they are in case you're interested. These are Kololari, it's a Kololari 5-piece diamond sharpening stones. So if you look that up, maybe if I remember when I'm editing, I'll write it on the screen so you can pause and copy it. But now I haven't used these. I got them in the mail a couple of days ago. I've been playing with them a little bit, and I am super impressed. You know, there are a couple of things that I would like to see. I wish instead of maybe a 400, they'd maybe start at 800 and go up. So an 800, 1000, 1200, 1400, 1600. I might like that better, but I think the 1200 is going to work really good for me. And the others, well, there's turning tools to hone and all kinds of stuff I can do with that. But what I was thinking of for these is, okay, where are all my props here? I moved everything around and I made changes and now everything's gone. Okay, Don't you hate that when that happens? You're ready to shoot a video and then you can't find anything. Okay, I will be back when I find what I'm looking for. Okay, I found what I was looking for. Um, I haven't done a lot of projects since I've been retired that required me to be sharpening chisels and things like that. However, my students are now heading into that. For example, Justice here carving the inside, these scallops here, that's all done with a chisel. So we needed some really nice sharp chisels, and I have pretty much every Nerix set that. Well, no, there are a couple that I don't have, but I don't really need them either. But I have way more Nerix chisels than I'll probably ever use. But so I sharpened up a few, and so that meant getting my water stones out and fiddling with that. And I find the water stones, maybe I'm just getting lazy, but just a bit cumbersome. Like you gotta make sure the pond is clean. Like, and I have the Lee Valley pond. So you got to make sure that's all good. And then the stones need to be lapped occasionally so they're flat and true. And you got the mess of moisture or water all the time. And that's a great system. Don't get me wrong. You can make things super sharp with that system. But you know what? I really kind of like this idea. I hope you can see that. Like that works really well, and it removes metal really nicely and makes a really nice sharp edge. So I just wanted to show you these. And when I get my dust collector up and running properly again, I'll show you that too, because that is a bit of an issue. I didn't get as far on my dust collection this winter as I'd hoped. I've just been busy shooting video and going to appointments and things like that. It's been a busy winter again. So, but yeah, this five-piece set I'm quite impressed with. You've got a 400, a 600, 800, 1,000, and 1,200. So, like I said, if I had to do this, if I make this perfect, they'd probably be an inch longer. And maybe, I haven't even tried a plane iron on this yet. I'm not even sure how wide this is. Let me go for my tape measure here. We're just going to check. They look like 2 inches. Okay, 2.5. Yeah, that should sharpen most plane irons too. So you might have to skew the blade a little bit to get it on completely, but that can be done too. But I think I paid $20 for these. They came well under, they just over my $15 necessity that I had. And they work really, really well so far. So I'll probably keep you informed as to how this works out. And another thing that I will do is I will eventually show you my dust collections setup and so see how that works. So anyway, with that in mind, I think just a little bit shorter weekend edition this weekend. Got a lot of videos, 30, 40 minutes long, and some days I don't even have the patience to watch something 40 minutes long. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of break from my longer content, but I've been thinking of things. There's going to be a bunch of new stuff coming and spring's coming to get out on the yard, which will be great. Maybe a bit of content there, but most of you don't seem to really enjoy that content. My views are way down when I do stuff like that. But like I said, this channel is about what I'm doing in my retirement. And, I've given up on trying to please the algorithm, because then I have no artistic control over the way my channel goes. So I'm going to do what I want. If the algorithm loves it, great. If it doesn't, who cares? That's my attitude. So anyway, on that note, have an awesome weekend. Out here, it's going to be sunny. Hopefully all that white stuff, the snow, is gone by the time I shoot the next weekly edition. And then I'll be on the yard doing some other things. So anyway, take care. Thank you for watching. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you middle of next week on the weekly edition.